So first impressions of the Ozark Trail G1 Explorer. I am pleasantly surprised. I honestly thought my first ride on it was going to be absolutely miserable, and I was going to ask myself what I got into. As all the forums say, as previous reviews before us have said, this is actually a fantastic little bike. It's got a great little aluminum frame. It has some upgraded components from the free hub body on the wheel set to the sealed cartridge bottom bracket. The Altus derailleur is an upgrade, and even the shifter, it shifts more crisply than my $7,000 cargo bike does. Are there some weaknesses? Absolutely, there's some weaknesses. It was a $258 bike. There's not much I can't expect with a bike at this price point to not have some compromises. One of the first things is definitely the brakes. The brakes have got to go. The brakes have got to be upgraded. Every Walmart from the history of the dawn of time has had crappy brakes, and it's something they literally cannot solve and haven't solved yet. The wheel set is a cheap wheel set. You see where I had to open it up and re-grease everything and adjust it so that we can get a little bit more longevity out of it. But it's going to be the last thing we upgrade, as well as the tires. Tires are Kendo, which is a known brand, and these somewhat resemble the small block 8 tires, but it's a small knob tire and pretty rounded. Even the corner, so it doesn't have sharp cornering knobs, which I think can fold over on pavement and seem really squirrely on pavement. So these things are going to be great for 90% of your riding, whether it's pavement or trails or gravel or whatever you want to do. That said, there are tubes in it. I pumped it up to 40 PSI just because I was afraid of pinch flats. And so that kind of takes away a little bit of comfort from it. One other thing is definitely what's known as the Q factor for experienced riders. The Q factor is the distance basically between your pedals out there. And this is a really wide stance. I don't know why it's so wide, but it's super wide, and I definitely feel that. And in fact, I lowered my saddle position down a little bit just so that I could address that distance in between my legs, because it was really putting a lot of pressure on my legs, especially with these silly pedals here. Oh, and you'll forgive me, I don't have the cranks in the correct orientation. There we go, that's better. That said, the first things we're going to change up are definitely going to be the seat post and the saddle. The saddle rails aren't even to a standardized width. They're narrower than that. So you can't even put a regular seat post on here with this saddle. You have to upgrade both at the same time if you want to do that. The saddle is plenty plush, but it might be too soft for some and just perfect for others. So you don't have to change this, but I think we could probably drop quite a bit of weight off of this straight seat post with this bolt on top here. Definitely carrying a saddlebag with a spare tube, CO2, and tire levers in here, just because with tubes and 40 PSI, I'm still worried about pinch flats, but I don't want to go much higher because of comfort here. I don't want this thing to ride terribly. The geometry is a little bit weird. It's supposed to be a 59 centimeter if you measured horizontally across to here, but it rides a lot shorter than that. So the seat tube is pretty far forward. So this is a pretty sporty little bike. Would still be a good bike for somebody. I am 6'4", right? So I'm pretty tall. And so I think I'm probably at the top end of that, but somebody that would be a little bit shorter in the 6-foot range or even 5'11" range with the seat post down, this stretch might be feel on the long side for them. For me, it's a little bit on the short side. So I'll probably correct that with a longer stem. And we were going to change up the stem and handlebar anyway and put a drop bar and an integrated shift lever on here for that. And then we're also going to upgrade this fork. The fork is probably one of the cheaper things on here. It has lots of eyelets, so it could be a great bike for bike packing and bike touring and things like that. But this is kind of a steel fork that you would expect on a very cheap bike. So that said, we're not going to go super fancy on the upgrade. We'll probably find something Alibaba or Temu like on the internet or eBay probably, and replace it with that. The headset was also just a cup and cone that needed to be greased and upgraded. We'll also upgrade the seat collar. You don't think often about it, but with the quick release seat collar, this one side does have a bolt you can tighten down on it, but seat collars are both security to keep your seat from getting stolen, and they can anchor a little bit more efficiently. And most people are going to know what saddle height they want and won't be messing around with it too much. So really quick releases are pretty unnecessary in this world. Of course, I added a bottle cage and a spare pump because you can never have enough air. And then the kickstand is also going to go, because quite honestly, I don't need a kickstand. I don't like kickstand. But overall, I think this bike is quite the bike for the price point, and having it delivered essentially fully assembled. You might still take it to a bike shop if you're unsure and have a check over done on it. And if you're not afraid to buy some cone wrenches and get inside and add some grease to the hub bearings, as well as add some grease to the headset bearings. So that's my first impressions for our cheat bike challenge here. Again, the inspiration is to just get out there and ride. Much like the gravel roll is meant for you to get out there and ride with people and be social and have a little bit of fun competition. It's not a start to finish challenge. It's there for you to see the scenery, be social, and have a great time. So keep following along, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.